Hey, this video is for Cheryl. Cheryl, I just read this and you did a great job. Um, I'm just going to go over the Academy story, and I really like it, what you have. It still might be a little too short, but it's okay because there's definitely some other stuff I'm going to add here, or maybe show you to add. So I made one of these videos for everyone else just about their biggest story, and like it's a pretty easy way to go over stuff just to make a video because I can't see you guys in person because school's over. Um, So just the first thing I noticed is just the title. Like we don't want to call it the basement in the title because the whole one of the main points of the story is to inform students and have them stop calling it the basement. So I would say work on a different headline if you can. Um, I haven't really thought about it, but maybe something positive like um, I don't know. I'll think about it, but we'll get back to that. So here we go. On a venture of finding out the truth about Olney High's basement, otherwise known as the Academy. It's the opposite. It's the Academy, not the not the basement. So it's otherwise known as the basement. So I would just say keep it simple, On a quest. I mean, not really. You're fine. You're fine. About the about the it's called the Spirit Academy. So as I'm sure it's ran by it's not even ran by Spirit. It's ran by Camelot, this company. So we'll call the Spirit Academy at Olney. 'Cause there's two. There's one at Stetson, the other school. So otherwise known as the basement. The things that the zip code newspaper staff found out just might surprise you. See, this is a great first sentence. See, this is something I've been trying to tell everyone that you want to start with something interesting. You want the hook. You want to bring them in. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. It says it might surprise you. So you read that and you're like, oh, I want to read the rest of it. So let's italicize zip code because it's the name of a newspaper. So you want anything that's the name of a newspaper or like a TV show or any sort of media, you want italics. So we found out just might surprise you. So that's pretty good. The Academy has been admitting students for the last 3 school years. During this time, it has been focusing on enhancing the learning experience of all Olney High students, giving them the one-on-one time. Let's see, that's good. See, that's good. The basic information. Um, the one-on-one, that's like a compound adjective. So one-on-one is 3 words, but it's all describing the time, right? So it's an adjective for time. So we'd say you hyphenate compound adjective. So one-on-one time. So let's say giving them the one-on-one time, smaller class sizes, and uh, personal personalized attention they need to be successful during their time there. Let's say here, we want to make them feel like they're part of the school because they don't. It's kind of sad. If you read down what Karima said and the other girl, they say they feel like they're not part of Alney. So let's say here, let's make them feel like they're part of the school. The nickname the basement obviously comes from the location of the academy, but it also gives them a bad reputation. So that's true, and I think that's a fair thing to say, a fair point to make as part of the story. But let's lighten it up a little bit. Don't want to say it gives them a bad reputation. Um, let's be a little more general, a little more cautious. Let's say, um, but it but for some students, it carries a, a negative connotation. Because it feels like, oh, you've been bad. We're just going to throw you downstairs. We don't want that. So this is definitely one paragraph here. Um, Paragraphs are pretty long. You can shorten them up. Oh, see, he already said negative connotation, so we can't say that. So maybe we could say it some other way. Um, um, let's think. the nickname the basement obviously comes from the location of the academy, but it's altered how the program is perceived. That's even more safe. So Drew Stem, so this is his title, so we want to capitalize it, right? So Drew Stem, executive director. So he's executive director, okay, executive director of the academy. Thinks that, we don't want to say what he thinks, right? Because we're journalists, we're very literal, we're very cautious in a story like this. So we'll say, Drew Stem said, this is a direct quote, right? It carries a little bit of a negative connotation. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, some worse than others, but we're all given a second opportunity to correct those mistakes. When a student makes a mistake, they need to be held accountable for it. Don't get me wrong, but I think they should all be called only students. So that's good. Good quote. Not sure how to change it back to black, but whatever. There we go. On that note, comma. On that note, because this is like, so if this could be a standalone sentence, if it doesn't need this, then it needs a comma. So on that note, comma, all students admitted into the academy aren't as troubled as we might think. These are two separate sentences. Most just need one-on-one guidance that may not be given to them in larger size classes that other students attend. So you're doing a good job. This is great because you're saying, this is the right message. We're saying, look, these are students just like anyone else. Okay, they need closer attention. Um, so I'm gonna say. So here's one thing you could do. So if you have two sentences in a row and they make the exact same point, or one sentence follows this one directly, you can use a semicolon to split them up. So instead of making this a whole new sentence, we'll say, "So no troubles in my thing." Uh, Semicolon. Most just need, and you don't even need to capitalize this. So it's one sentence. Two sentences of one is grammatically correct. But we already said one-on-one, so we don't want to use that again, right? You just need individualized individual guidance. May not be given. It may not. So it's not that teachers upstairs aren't trying, right? There's just too many students. They can't do it. There's 30 kids in a classroom. So that it isn't possible. That isn't possible in classes in the larger size. So again, compound adjective. Two words, one adjective, hyphenated. Classes other high school students attend. Often, academy students are looked down upon instead of being given praise for the steps they have taken toward becoming a better student and example for the whole high school community. That's great. It's really well written. You're a great writer. Um, trying to think, look down upon. I mean, we don't want to like. I'm trying to think of how strong we should be with this because it's a tough one. It's a tough topic. So instead of saying look down upon, maybe we could say um, their students are viewed as uh, badly behaved and unfit for standard classrooms when they should be praised and recognized for the steps they've taken toward becoming a better student and example. This is a good. I really like what you did here. This is really nice. Because we're trying to, it's not our responsibility as journalists to do that, but we want people to reevaluate their view. Army students are even able to become pledges and Trojans through the same process as only students, receiving positive ratings being recommended for the honors. So I'm not sure what you mean here. Recommended for the honor? So let's just try and explain that. Keeping a red tie and moving up in status if they maintain positive behavior. Maintain their positive behavior. Constant positive behavior can result in the transition from the academy to only possible twice a year during February and June after students meet their personal set criteria. So this is great. I would say we want to put a little bit more of the background info, the nuts and bolts, basic stuff before we actually get into like quotes and stuff. So I'm gonna take a look at this. Let's get the basic Camelot info in there. I just saw that transition is the actual technical term they use to put students back in regular classes. So we'll quote will result in their transition. So if you put in quotes, they'll know it's actually what it's called from an educational standpoint. So let's see. Let's talk about the background of the academy. Like where does it come from? Who is it? Like parents don't know. Like how did this happen? There's also a statement in here um, from Catherine McKinley, who I work with, who is like one of the educational people. So we're going to put that in too. So let's see. Basics about the academy. Right here. So for those who don't know, the Alney Charter building is home to to a learning institution of a company called Camelot, which operates 36 schools throughout the country. They are known for specializing and producing unique results with populations, student populations, uh, which may include um, challenges both at home, both in the classroom, and at home, which may include. So if we say a challenge in the classroom, they might think we're talking about disabilities or learning disabilities or special ed. So we want to say might include behavioral challenges in the classroom and personal issues at home. So, a lot of these kids, if you go down there, I mean, like, someone doesn't go to the academy because they're just a bad kid. If they're badly behaved, it's because they had trouble at home or something like that. So we want to let people know that there's a whole section of kids who we overlook and we don't think about who need this kind of attention. So, I mean, look, Camelot is kind of controversial. If you look it up, some people think that they're not a good company, and that's your prerogative. If you want to include that, if you want to go in here and include, um, you know, Camelot Education, let's see what comes up. Um, Camelot Education under scrutiny in Philadelphia, Houston, and I mean, look, Camelot. I mean, they've had some trouble, so it's up to you. If you want to put this in here, you can. Um, that's what journalism is. You're supposed to question the school, question the authority. You can do that. But I'll leave that out for now. I'll leave that up to you. And if you want to make edits, if you want to make changes, I'll take them and I'll make the final edits and we'll print it. All right, so let's just talk. So here's the basic background in Academy. We want to know how it's run. So let's say this: the staff of Academy Academy and Olney are employed separately. Academy is run by Camelot and Olney is run by Spear Schools. So that's basic information. That's need to know. We're going to copy and paste that right in there. Okay, great. This is basic need to know. This is all important. So this is important educational stuff. I guess, but you might mention that later. So remember. So we don't want to bore them. You want to mix stuff up. You want to be like, here's some interesting stuff. Here's some boring stuff. Here's some interesting stuff. Here's some boring stuff. So you want to like keep people reading. So you mix it in and out. So look at this one. This keystone testing stuff. Down here we talked about whether or not they're able to receive the same awards and all that stuff. So this would be a good place. So this is interesting stuff, and this is about what it's like and like the controversy. And here we get into some nuts and bolts stuff about what they're allowed to do, what they receive. So let's say this. So let's put this right here, right at the beginning of this. Would be a perfect way to set that up, right? So academy students follow all the same curriculum as as their peers upstairs. We can say upstairs instead of saying the basement. So we're saying, hey, we might be downstairs, but we have all the same curriculum. They take the map test, the keystone testing, and have all the same graduation requirements, same and a similar daily schedule. Right? Okay, this is coming together. Now I say, like there's one at Stetson too, right? And like this newspaper is supposed to cover Stetson, like all the other Spear schools and Olney. So let's just do this. Put Stetson up here. The Olney charter and the buildings which contain Olney Charter High School and John Stetson Charter are both home to learning institutions. A company called Camelot. Academy is run by Camelot, and Olney and Stetson are staff of Academy staff of Academy and Olney and schools are employed separately. Semicolon, because it's a very similar follow-up sentence. Academy is run by Camelot, and Olney and Stetson are employed are managed by Spear Schools. There we go. We got Stetson there. That's good. Let me take a drink of water real quick. I'm dying here. Let's put a little more Stetson right here. You know what I mean? Here Drew Sten, the director, talked about Olney, but then we talked to Vince McDuffie, who's a towering beast of a man at Stetson. So we'll say the Academy at John B. You know what? I'll let you handle this part. I don't want to write everything for you. You got this. So Stetson info here. Quote from Vince McDuffie. That's the program manager there. Right here. Okay. And then you talk about Deshaun Bright down here, so that's fine. That's good. So you got this. This is all good. Let's see how to wrap this, how to end the story. This is good. I like how you ended it with this quote. This is really good. Um, I really don't have any changes to that. Um, yeah, see how much you can get in from Garima and Diamond. See if you can get some more stuff in from them. Um, well, let's get this in there too. This is so academic. Her quote. So let's put that right here. This is a good place for it. Catherine McKinley, Senior Director of Special Education and Specialized Services for Bureau of Schools, included a statement about Sierra's relationship with Camelot and the importance of providing these services based on the needs of the community. So this is a big old quote, and if it quotes that many lines, it's like indented. So we're just going to indent all this. And this will just be like a standalone paragraph or whatever because it's just freaking long. All right, you did it really well. And this stuff is fine, I'm sure. If you want to do the accountant one too, that's great. You should have everything you need. And I really like this. Do the angles add up? Um, Something like that. I mean, like, I think the title itself is just going to be, career profile architect. And I think so that'll just be the title because they're all going to be that. We don't have separate headlines for all of them. So you might just want to put the angles add up thing here for my friend Salim. You will put um, becoming an architect is the furthest thing from easy, but all the angles have certainly added up for Salim. For since I've been friends with him for 8 years, I still can't spell his name. So that's good. I really like that this here. This is really creative and cool, and I really love that you did that. That's one of the fun things we get to do. So yeah, do this one if you want. Um, Let me know if you want to do the. No one's taken it yet, but let me know if you want to do the executive director of immigration story because that's a big one, and you'll have a story that you wrote with an interview from someone from the mayor's office for a long time, and you'll be the sole. If you write it, you'll be the only credited writer. So that'd be awesome. Let me know. And great job on this. So I'm just gonna highlight the stuff in red you need to change. But all the stuff in I mean, you already got this stuff right here. Don't forget, split up in different paragraphs, make it longer, make it easier to read. Um, this is we already mentioned, so you can get rid of this. We don't want to make Stetson feel secondary. This is a separate paragraph. So this is a separate paragraph. And I would just say try and add the story of Diamond. And you know what? I'll see if I can get an update on these kids and see if we have any new news from them. Maybe they see how they're doing. But great job, and just make these changes, and then after that, let me know, and you'll be pretty much done. So thank you, Cheryl. Great job.